Cricklewood Square, a frunculous, Dracula's pendulous pair. Oh, how they battled in darkness and light, from dusk until dawn, from morning to night. They lived across the hall from each other, you see, the one in 2A, the other 2B. Their abodes were really very much the same, rooms with the same walls, doors with the same frames, but that was the only thing in common they shared. They were as different as, well, a circle and a square. One was rather short, the other kind of tall. One's feet were too big, one's hands were too small. Two men who simply refused to be free on Cricklewood Square in 2A and 2B. 2B's food was boiled, 2A had it fried, 2A had eggs scrambled, 2B sunny side. 2A, he was early, 2B always late. 2B's hair was wild, 2A a bald pate. 2A said, 2B, sir, your life is a mess. Your hair, those big feet, and just look how you dress, the things that you do, and the way that you act. It's all really quite unpleasant, in fact. 2B said, excuse me, you talking to who? You crabbily, crotchety, snooty foo-foo? Dude, you're tight as a drum and hard as a stone. Why don't you shut it and leave me alone? And a slam went the doors of 2B, then 2A. Then both men sat in their rooms, sulking away. So on it would go, day in and day out, doors slamming, an insult or ten, and a shout. Then alone each would sit behind his closed door, as each day their hate grew a little bit more. You look like a kippy. You act like a coot. You're snotty and snippy. You're schmiggledy-schmoot. I wonder how such a man lives with himself. Each thought privately while arranging the shelf. How can such a man have such thoughts in his head? Each thought to himself before going to bed. And then came the dreams, in which they could see a world with no 2A and with no 2B. A world where they had friends and no more closed doors. No one ever argued at all anymore. The world of their dreams filled with laughter and light, where nothing was wrong, everyone was all right. Music filled the air that made you want to dance. Lazy, puffing clouds could put you in a trance. Creatures large and small, yes, they all got along. And sometimes, for no particular reason, all living things would, no matter what season, in flawless 4,000-part harmony, burst into song. The Whittlebirds warbled a squirtly tune, Whomper wolves growled and howled at the moon, all folks large and small, young and old, sky to ground, together as one voice in round the world sound. Oh, the sound of music in a world of dream, where we are what we're not, and we're not what we seem. We can fly like a bird or rule like a king in the world of our dreams. We can be anything. Kaboom! They'd awake with cacophonous clangs, with the cold winter morning baring its fangs. Then the dreams would both fade, till they were no more, each ready for battle outside their front door. As both drank their coffee, one black, one with cream, each sip creeping farther away from the dream. 2A would get dressed in his fine frippery, 2B would just throw on some jeans and a tee. They'd bicker and banter a moment or so, then into the world they would grumpily go. 2A to the butcher for thick 2A to the butcher for thick cuts of meats, strips, chops, and such other carnivorous treats. 2B would to market, where he would seek out some berries, a veggie, a root, and a sprout. On opposite ends of the park, they would sit alone with their dark thoughts until their necks snit, when they'd spew out the anger they held within, so each day would end like each day would begin. Now, just down the hall from 2A and 2B, there lived a young lass in apartment 2C. She was sweeter than sweet, yet sometimes was mean. There were times she was red, and times she was green. She was beautiful, too, yet at times she was plain. She was smart, sensible, yet sometimes insane. She was the best of both worlds, yet at times the worst. She led a blessed life, but sometimes was cursed. She would go so slowly, and at times she flew. In her laughter, she held a sadness or two. As old as a wrinkle and younger than dreams, she lived in the middle of all her extremes. One dark, cloudy day, in her brightest of frocks, she went to the front door and unlocked the locks. In the hall, nose to nose, she saw the two men. Insult after insult, again and again. You both realized, she laughed as she cried, she hopped, squeaked, and whistled, she hummed and she sighed. You both sound just silly, you don't make much sense. And then said politely, I mean no offense, but you ought to know, she snapped, turning both ways. There are much better things to do with your days. Go read a good book, maybe go for a hike, create a new game, or go ride a bike. You can choose to be happy or choose to be sad. Take time and be grateful for all that you've had. She brushed past them roughly, yet gentle as snow. She started to chime in as she went to go. Just remember, boys, you must forever sing, for there's music in just about everything. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lee. One voice in the sky and the land and the sea. There's so much of you and there's so much of me. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lee. To the darkening world she stomped and she skipped. What was that? 2A pondered. Don't know. 2B quipped. They both stood there slack-jawed, yet somehow tight-lipped. With mutual grunts, each one closed his door. Not a slam, like it was every time before. For now they each had a new thought in their head that lingered on until each one went to bed. Again came their dream like the dream from before, filled with music and friends, no locks and no doors. But this time, they both saw a little bit more. The leaves, they looked greener. The sky seemed more blue. They both stopped and listened a moment or two. Then they heard the words of a song they both knew. The song of their dreams. It sounded the same, but now they had words and could give it a name. How happy is the sound of a world at peace with no criminals, so no need for police. Where wampa wolves lie at peace with lacy lambs, the whole wide world makes music, everyone jams. So why not come join us in our special song? You know the words now, so please sing along. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lee. One voice in the sky and the land and the sea. There's so much of you and there's so much of me. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lee. They bolted awake with a, oh dear, oh no. 2A bumped his head, 2B stubbed his toe. That girl in 2C, they thought. How could she know? That dream was my dream. It was meant just for me. How did she know the words? That girl in 2C. They both stood there thinking, how odd it did seem to have never before remembered the dream. They knew now the dream was the same every night. A world filled with laughter, with music and light, where nothing was wrong. Everyone was all right. They both got the very same idea just then. And both grabbed some paper, a pencil, a pen, to write down the dream, every word, every note, from the rainbow rocks to the Billy Band goats. They wrote down the words to the round-the-world song and music, so that we could all sing along. They finished and then heard a sound in the hall. That girl from 2C, she was bouncing a ball. It shook their front doors and it rattled their walls. She sang, in the park where it's greener than green, underneath the big oak tree at 2:15. She left and she said, don't forget, bring your dream. They both thought, she means me. But what does she mean? Just after midday, about 2 glasses or so, they went to the place where they were told to go. And there they arrived beneath the big old oak tree, 2A from the west. From the east came 2B. But there was no one else there for them to see. They both stood there silent and stone still, it seemed, each clutching in his hand the written down dream. So why is it you're here? 2A asked 2B, underneath this so very old oak tree. I'm here, sir, because I have written a song, a dream in which everyone can sing along. Well, I have a dream too, it's here in my hand. A wonderful, magical, masterful plan. My dream has puffing clouds that can hypnotize. In my dream, 4,000 people hypnotize. Well, harmonize. Well, mine has puffing clouds. Just look here and see. And mine has 4,000 singing harmony. They both grabbed the paper from each other's grasp, perchance to get to the truth at last. They looked down, but could not believe what they read. 2A rubbed his eyes, 2B scratched his head. Then they both stood there silent, and not so alone, underneath that big tree and miles from home. For the first time now, they had nothing to say. Each one first looked down, and then each one looked away. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, sang 2B. 2A sang tra-la-la-la-la-la-lee. And at that very moment, their lifelong frown miraculously somehow turned upside down. Then they took all their years of dark energy and they turned it into perfect harmony. They sang their dream in the park all day long, then walked home together, still singing their songs. Now, when they would meet in the hall just by chance, it would turn into song, sometimes into dance. And still to this day, up on Cricklewood Square, there's a whole lot of creatures living up there. They're dreaming their dream and singing their song the whole day sometimes, some days all night long. So like the girl said who once lived in 2C, be brilliant and bold, no mediocrity. There's no need to fight when you can always sing. There's music in just about everything. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lee. One voice in the sky and the land and the sea. There's music in you and there's music in me. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lee. There once lived two men of Cricklewood Square, a harmonious, musical, magical pair. Oh, how they sang all the while, never a word unkind, and always a smile. And for absolutely no reason at all, in the park, or where they lived, there in the hall, creatures large and small, all of whom got along, would at once, in 4,000 part harmony, burst into song.